Morning arrived quietly on the farm, accompanied by the cheerful songs of birds echoing through the trees behind the garden. The gentle sunlight bathed the new wooden house, now in its final stage of construction. The walls had been completed, the windows were already in place, and the spacious yard in front still stretched out as an open patch of earth, waiting to come to life. Jack stood silently for a long moment, gazing across the empty ground. His eyes were not fixed on the house itself, but on the future that would unfold around it. Tu Tien walked over, still holding the broom she had been using to sweep away the last traces of sawdust from the front porch. Seeing Jack quietly studying one corner of the yard, she stopped beside him and followed his gaze. A small young tree rested in Jack's hands. He had carefully brought it from the nursery behind the garden. Its slender trunk was only knee-high, and its tender green leaves still carried the freshness of the morning dew. It was not a rare or expensive tree. It was simply a healthy sapling that Jack had carefully selected several days earlier. For their new home, the very first gift they chose was not a piece of furniture or a decorative item. Instead, they chose to plant a living tree. They both believed that a house only truly became a home when life continued to grow around it. Today, the little tree looked fragile and insignificant, but one day it would grow through countless seasons of sunshine and rain, quietly witnessing every change the house would experience, every harvest on the farm, and every chapter of the lives being built there. It was more than the beginning of a single tree. It was the beginning of a peaceful future that Jack and Tu Tien would nurture together, one day at a time. Jack picked up his familiar hoe and slowly drove it into the soft soil, still moist from the rain the night before. Each swing was steady and unhurried. As the earth turned over, it released the rich scent of fertile soil mixed with the fragrance of fresh grass. Tu Tien knelt beside him, patiently removing small stones and pulling out the remaining roots of wild weeds. She gently crumbled the larger clumps of soil with her hands, making sure the young tree's roots would have plenty of room to spread and grow. Neither of them rushed. They worked together with the quiet understanding that had been built through countless days of farming side by side. From time to time, their eyes met, and a warm smile appeared before they returned to the work in front of them. Little by little, the planting hole reached just the right depth. Jack carefully lowered the young tree into the center of the hole. He held the slender trunk with both hands, treating it as gently as if even the slightest careless movement might damage its delicate branches. Tu Tien adjusted the tree until it stood perfectly upright. She carefully turned the root ball to give the roots enough space to grow naturally beneath the soil. Looking at the tiny sapling standing alone in the wide yard, both of them felt a simple but genuine happiness. Life is often much like planting a tree. If you dream of resting beneath its cool shade one day, you must first be willing to begin with the smallest acts of care today. The future is never built overnight. It quietly takes root through patience, steady hands, and the determination to keep moving forward, one small step at a time. Once the young tree was standing firmly in place, Jack began shoveling soil back into the hole, one layer at a time. Beside him, Tu Tien knelt down and gently pulled the loose earth around the roots with both hands, making sure every part of the root system was carefully covered. The soil was pressed down just enough to keep the tree upright, while remaining loose enough for the roots to breathe and grow. Every movement was slow, careful, and full of patience, as though they were protecting something far more precious than a simple sapling. When the base of the tree had been completely covered, they turned their attention to the surrounding ground. Together, they pulled out every patch of wild grass growing nearby, so it would not compete with the young tree for water and nutrients. Before long, the area around the trunk was clean and tidy. Jack stepped back, brushing the dirt from his clothes as he quietly admired what they had accomplished. Throughout his years as a farmer, he had planted countless trees. Yet this one felt different. It was not being planted for fruit, nor was it simply meant to provide shade. It would grow alongside their new home. It would silently witness changing seasons, abundant harvests, family meals shared around the table, laughter that filled the yard, tears that marked difficult days, and every new chapter waiting to unfold. Tu Tien gently touched one of the tender leaves as it swayed softly in the afternoon breeze. The little tree reminded her of the day they first arrived at the farm, with almost nothing but hope and determination. Back then, they had been just as fragile as the sapling standing before them. But through perseverance and hard work, every challenge had gradually become another reason to keep moving forward. Like strong roots hidden beneath the ground, the greatest strength often grows where no one can see it. Their work was not finished yet. Jack brought out the bamboo poles he had split and prepared the day before, while Tu Tien gathered bundles of bamboo strips and a small knife for tying the joints together. Working side by side, they began building a simple fence around the young tree. One by one, Jack drove the bamboo stakes firmly into the ground. Tu Tien carefully tied the horizontal pieces across them, making sure each knot was secure. The little fence was plain and modest, but strong enough to keep the chickens and ducks from wandering too close and accidentally damaging the fragile sapling. When the fence was complete, Jack searched through the pile of bamboo until he found the straightest pole. He planted it deep into the soil beside the tree and gently fastened the slender trunk to the support with a soft strip of bamboo. The tie was firm enough to keep the tree steady during heavy rain and strong winds, yet loose enough to let it sway naturally with every passing breeze. Tu Tien examined each knot one last time. Wherever a tie seemed too tight, she carefully loosened it to protect the tender bark from being rubbed or scratched as the tree grew. The little sapling now stood quietly inside its bamboo fence, supported by its single stake. It looked delicate, yet it was no longer alone. Every young tree needs protection while it is finding its strength, not because it will depend on others forever, but because every strong tree begins as a fragile seedling that deserves the chance to grow. The same is true in life. The love, encouragement, and kindness we receive in our earliest days often become the invisible roots that help us remain standing when the storms eventually arrive. Jack carried a large watering can to the well, while Tu Tien brought over buckets of fresh rainwater they had collected the night before. Together, they slowly poured the cool water around the base of the young tree. The freshly turned soil absorbed every drop, and within moments, the moisture seeped deep into the earth where the roots had just begun their new journey. A gentle breeze drifted across the yard, causing the tender leaves to tremble softly, as if the little tree were quietly welcoming its very first drink in its new home. The once empty space in front of the house suddenly felt warmer and more alive. Sometimes it only takes a single living thing to transform an ordinary place into something filled with hope. After finishing their work, Jack and Tu Tien sat together on the front steps, quietly admiring the small tree they had planted with their own hands. No one could say exactly how many years it would take before it grew tall enough to cast a wide shade across the yard. Perhaps it would be a few years, perhaps even longer. But neither of them seemed concerned about the waiting. They understood that the true value of planting a tree was never about watching it grow quickly. It was about returning day after day to water it, pull away the weeds, and patiently care for it through every changing season. Time would take care of the rest. The most beautiful things in life are often built in exactly the same way, through quiet dedication, steady effort, and countless small acts of love that rarely draw attention, but slowly shape a brighter future. Evenings settled gently over the farm. The golden light of the setting sun stretched across the new wooden house and the young tree they had just planted, wrapping the quiet yard in a warm and peaceful glow. Jack and Tu Tien sat side by side on the front porch, looking out at the place that was slowly becoming more than just a house. It was becoming a home. The little tree was still small. The bamboo fence reached only to their knees. The slender bamboo stake stood beside the fragile trunk, keeping it steady against the wind. Yet in their hearts, they could already picture what this place would look like many years from now. On hot summer afternoons, the tree would spread its broad branches across the yard, casting cool shade over the house. After long days of working in the fields, there would always be a peaceful place to sit and rest beneath its leaves. Children's laughter would one day echo around its sturdy trunk. Family meals would become even more joyful with the gentle breeze flowing through its branches. The tree would quietly witness birthdays, celebrations, reunions, and countless ordinary moments that would one day become treasured memories. Nothing truly meaningful is created overnight. A house needs time before it becomes a loving home. A young tree needs years before it becomes a shelter from the sun. And a happy life is built in much the same way, through countless ordinary days filled with patience, kindness, and unwavering dedication. A soft evening breeze swept across the yard. The young tree bent gently with the wind before standing upright once again. It seemed almost alive, as though it already understood that every season would make it stronger. There, beside the nearly completed home, surrounded by open fields and endless skies, a quiet future had begun to take root. It started with a tiny tree, planted with loving hands, cared for with patient hearts, and nurtured by the shared hope that tomorrow would always be brighter than today.